Hey everyone, welcome to the Roto Grinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm Stevie TPFL. It's Friday, it's September 2nd. We have 14 baseball games tonight. It's a pretty interesting slate. I say that almost every day, so I'm sure by now you guys have just kind of gotten used to me saying that every slate is interesting. And, we're always here to talk about it, and it's Friday, so it's the Siege. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. This is interesting. There's a really couple of spots that I'm just I really love on this slate. So I'm probably gonna poo-poo a lot of good spots. So you're probably gonna have to be the voice of reason because I'm kind of married to a couple spots already.
Yeah, I'm married to a couple pitchers, so it'd be interesting to see, kind of how you feel about these guys. Before we get into the slate and talk about it, let's talk about our sponsor, FantasyDraft.com. Ton of NFL action, ton of baseball action, ton of MLB, qualifiers to win tickets in the NFL stuff. So make sure you guys are paying attention to those. If you guys haven't checked out our sponsor site, make sure you use promo code GRINDERS. That way you get incentives here at Roto Grinders for free for a year, and you get a 100% deposit bonus up to $600. Incentives are so much fun. Just finished my first NFL incentives article for the year. So, yes, it's that time again. You were lucky enough to join me last night, and we got to talk some NFL, and that'll be up on the Roto Grinders page throughout the week if you guys want some general strategy for NFL. That was good times.
Yeah, I was ready to talk football, and that felt really good. I was kind of in a grumpy mood before that podcast, but let me talk about football for 65 minutes, and I felt a lot better.
Well, let's get you out of this grumpy mood, and we'll start with Milwaukee at Pittsburgh. We have Junior Guerrera against Jameson Taillon. We just seen this matchup, not Guerrera side, but we just seen Taillon against Milwaukee. Big difference here. This is at PNC. This is not at Milwaukee. So what's your thoughts?
I have no difference. Taillon is a mega trap. Simply put, Milwaukee just hits his pitch arsenal well. There's really no other way around it. You saw it in that last start. They were making very good contact. Jonathan Villar's addition to the lineup will actually make it like a better matchup for Taillon. So I really have no interest in Taillon, and I love always stacking against guys coming off the DL. We've got Junior Guerra coming off the DL, has having a really good season, but it's still, Junior Guerra, and we don't know exactly how healthy he is, makes it for an interesting stack option, but the ballpark is just literally the worst. So I'm kind of torn here. The total of 8 is interesting, and Pittsburgh's a minus 200 favorite, which way too high.
Yeah, rehab start on Saturday, back with the club here. They gave him a good 6 days to make sure there was no setbacks. It's just one of those things I don't think he pitches deep into the game. Like, if I knew he was 100%, I'd actually like this matchup for him, but coming off the DL, I just can't trust it.
I just always stack guys coming off the DL because it just is always an under-owned spot, and the blow-up potential is just much higher than normal. We've seen it a couple times this year where you've won slates. It's like when Jordan Zimmerman came back against the White Sox, you stacked the White Sox that day, you won all the money. There's been a couple other spots like that this year. And there's another spot on this actual slate I actually like a little more than this one, but I certainly like this one.
Yeah, and then one other thing that I want to note, if when they do the activation tomorrow, if they don't send Chase Anderson down, he's the one that was supposed to start this game. So if Guerra gets in trouble, we're going to see Chase Anderson come out of the bullpen to pitch the, deep part, the long relief is, what I guess they would say it. But and then the matchup just gets even better for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but the rosters have expanded, so why would they demote him?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that we'll see him be the guy that, unless we see an odd move where they sign him for, waivers or something, who knows?
Yeah, no, I got you now. Yeah, for sure. So Chase Anderson is the long guy. And you've got a Pittsburgh team that can get right-handed heavy at times, which would also be a good spot for them. So, yeah, definitely some sneaky interest in the Pittsburgh stack. That minus 200 might just be love for Pittsburgh bats and not necessarily love for the pitching here.
Yeah, I think you stack, right? We're not trying to play one-offs here.
Yeah, it's a pure Pittsburgh stack. Hopefully you get the Matt Joyce version at the minimum. That'd be fun on FanDuel.
Yeah, he's 6,800 on draft. McCutcheon's 7,200. I like both those guys. Josh Bell, 6K.
Yeah, and Josh Bell is still under 3K on FanDuel. I think the Pirates stack fully in play here. There's pitching to pay up for on this slate. So I definitely don't mind that strategy one bit.
All right, let's move on. Milwaukee bats, any interest?
Yes, I would stack them up. We saw them crush Tyon the first time. I have no problem going at it again. The ballpark not as good, but the pitch profile is just way too good to ignore.
Yeah, this will be the fourth time they've seen him too. Like,
Yeah, and it's gotten progressively worse, hasn't it, each time?
it has.
Yeah, if that lineup could come out funky too, where they might give VR a day off. Don't be scared by that. That'd be very good news if VR is not in that lineup.
Scooter Gennett, 5,400 on draft. Like, that is a very, very nice price tag.
I would rather play him at 3,100 on FanDuel, where there's just not a ton of value at second base. Outside of the top end, it kind of just gets pretty ugly fast. Like the 3,300 and under tier, Devin Travis, Starlin Castro, Mike Freeman, Nick Franklin. Now Shimp is in there, but Scooter is probably like the second best option in that mid tier here.
Atlanta at Philadelphia, Jeremy Hellickson against Joe De La Cruz. I think I'm done picking on Atlanta, right? It just doesn't seem optimal anymore.
I have interest in the Braves stack here.
I think that makes sense though, right?
I think it does. Hellickson home run prone, good amount of power in this lineup. I mean, it's not a high hitting average for lineup except for like the guys you expect like Jace Peterson and Ciarte, but you got Garcia, Freeman, Kemp, and you kind of got some slap hitters around him. Like it kind of works.
Yeah, I like Flowers a lot too.
Yeah, he's gotten hot. Right after I stopped rostering him, he got hot. But yeah, I certainly don't mind him either. He's definitely a good option.
Yeah, and he continues to have that really high hard contact rate against righties, like 48%. You're almost half the time this guy's making contact, it's hard contact, and I love guys like that against home run prone pitchers.
Yeah, especially one that has problems with home runs in that small ballpark for sure.
Yeah, you can make a little Flowers, Kemp, Freeman, and maybe whoever's hitting second, because Flowers has been hitting fifth, Kemp fourth, Freeman third. You can make a little Brave stack here, and they're getting a nice ballpark bump.
Yeah, and the prices on FanDuel specifically are just to die for.
Yeah, Adonis Garcia is hot right now too. Me and you talk about hot streak hitters all the time. It's a righty-righty matchup, but this guy has multi-hits in 3 straight games now.
Yeah, and Hellickson gives up a lot of homers to right-handed power bats, so we're not too concerned about that. And he's under 3K on FanDuel.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page when it comes to the Braves here. Looking at the Phillies, I don't even know where to go with the Phillies anymore.
14-game slate, you just pass.
I think
maybe a Ryan Howard one-off. I will, in honor of Jeff, I will say Ryan Howard one-off.
Ryan Howard still has that hard contact rate. I don't hate that call.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. That was a pretty easy game. Yankees, Baltimore Orioles, Dylan Bundy, Chad Green. Bundy, really strong start to the season, not so much since.
We just saw this matchup 5 days ago.
Yep, 7 hits, 4 innings, and I forget how many earned runs.
Yeah, both these guys. I had interest in both these guys. It was a short day slate. I put them both, and they both kind of got rocked. But, man, this feels like an interesting Chad Green off-the-board spot. I mean, yeah, it kind of reminds me of like those Houston guys I kept recommending that kept getting lit up. But the upside is always there for the strikeouts. I don't mind rostering some Chad Green. I also don't mind a Baltimore stack probably here.
Yeah. I guess if you're going to roster Chad Green, you have to have a hedge stack, though, right?
Yeah, it's just the K numbers. Like he's like at a strikeout an inning, which is just so tempting against this Baltimore team that can strike out. But the power in that yard too, like Baltimore sneaky stack. Maybe I might lean that way just because, man, maybe it's recency bias, but these prices too on the Orioles are just really tempting to fire them out in tournaments with home run upside in that ballpark.
Yeah, I have a lot of interest in Alvarez, Davis, Machado, Trumbo. All these guys have over a 260 ISO against right-handed pitching this season. Those are the 4 guys that I'm really going to be targeting here for the most part.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you mentioned this guy, but love me some Chris Davis in this spot.
Yeah, it's hard not to like Chris Davis. What are we doing with the Yankees bats against Bundy?
Playing Gary Sanchez, probably.
I feel like we can say that every day right now. He's cooled down a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very relative term, right?
Yeah, I think he's still his hit streak's still alive, right?
Yeah. Oh, he had no hits in that one game against the LA, but But yeah, he's just been crushing the ball.
Yeah, hitting all but 1 or 2 games since being called up.
Yeah, and the home runs, like it's a really good ballpark and a kind of a good matchup for him. If he gets a hold of one, it's gonna get out of there. So the price is just so insane. No one's gonna roster him, and I don't mind it in this again, which is a good matchup. Like I'm waiting for these bad Gary Sanchez matchups to fade him, and I'm just not getting them. It's like Kevin Gausman and Dylan G, and it's just like you're just asking me to keep rostering the guy.
Yeah, you mentioned, a good matchup for Sanchez. Dylan Bundy in 37 innings against righties this season. He's given up 7 home runs, and one of those home runs was against Sanchez. Chris Davis, 3 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 home runs against Chad Green in that game.
Yeah, so already then.
I think we know who's going to be on the home run derby part of the show today.
I was just thinking about that. I made a note. You better not give me the first pick.
St. Louis at Cincinnati. Anthony Desclafini against Alex Reyes. What's your thoughts here on this game being in Cincy with a extremely cold St. Louis team?
Yeah, boy, and this Reds team just got a complete game shutout by Ricky Nolasco their last time out. I'm trying to pull up a total really quickly. 8.5. Oh man, this is a game that I think I'm going to trust the line move here, the total move. If the game starts going down, I got some interest in Reyes and Desclafani, who also pitched a gem his last time out in Arizona. Oh, man, I don't have a really good feel for this game. I think both pitchers will have some ownership, but I really hate rostering pitchers in Great America Small Park.
I don't even know if this is a hot take, but I think an Alex Reyes fade tomorrow is a good idea. Like I watched that start against Oakland, his first start. Just couldn't find the strike zone. And even when he was throwing strikes, he got up a couple times, 2-1 on people, and then, threw a couple balls and just he crushed himself. He pitched a good game as far as not giving up hits, strikeouts, et cetera, but the walks and the pitch count got up there so fast. It just worries me with a young guy like him.
Yeah, and absolutely. It's just one of those spots where it's just you're not paying $4K for the guy anymore. I definitely think it's a hard pass.
Yeah, and on a slate where there's some big arms in some decent spots, I think it's going to take more than 30, 35 points on FanDuel to win a tournament.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It would be a really funky slate if that ended up happening and working out for someone.
Do we go back to the well on the Cardinals bats here? Do we stack them again? It's just they're so frustrating at this point.
Man, I was off the bandwagon too until Wednesday, and I hopped on against I faded Willie Peralta successfully. I hopped on for Matt Garza, thinking nothing could possibly go wrong, and then Matt Garza went out there and threw a gem too. It's a Great America Small Park. This series always feels like it shoots out every time. I'm going to have some interest here. I don't know if they'll make the final cut, but they're certainly on the list for now.
I'm going to stack both these teams. I'll go ahead and put it on record. I'm going to stack both these teams.
Yeah, I don't mind a game stack here one bit.
If I had to pinpoint anybody, Brandon Moss, Jed Jerko. Jerko, man, he continues to do it. I just don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
Oh, Jed Jerko. This is what everyone in San Diego expected from you, and now you're just you can't get out.
Does it shock you, though? Would you want to play in San Diego?
No, probably not.
I'd be so happy to be traded from San Diego. Matt Kemp, hey, thank you for trading me to the Braves. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's yeah, for sure. That's definitely a good spot.
We talk about Billy Hamilton against Molina all the time, and Billy Hamilton actually has a really good success rate against Molina, and he's only 7,600 on Fantasy Draft today. I like that price.
I love that price. And he's only 2,900 on the draft, on the Fan of Duels. I love this spot, and you will be hard pressed to find a tournament team of mine today without Billy Hamilton on it.
Yeah, all it takes is one walk, and you have to think that he's going to try to run.
Oh yeah, said it every time. Why would he stop now? And Alex Reyes, a kid from the minors, doesn't exactly have MLB pickoff moves and holding on running ability yet.
Washington at New York, Noah Syndergaard, AJ Cole. Am I crazy for thinking AJ Cole is a really legit tournament option here?
I was really hoping that was kind of a sneaky hot take, but apparently not.
Well, I think me and you think a lot alike when it comes to tournament options, and I think both of us like this AJ Cole kid.
Yeah, I like this AJ Cole kid. It's a really good spot. You got to see the Mets lineup for sure before I can really love them. Hopefully they add an extra righty in there. That'd be great news. For me, this AJ Cole love is more out of I really hate this spot for Noah Syndergaard. Like, I couldn't hate this spot more for him. Kind of a left-handed heavy power team, but also has those sneaky little bats that can get those singles and steal 2 bases off of them. Boy, I don't like this spot for Noah one bit here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a guy. It's actually the next game we're going to talk about that I like him so much more than I like Syndergaard here today. And I'm not saying don't have some exposure to Syndergaard and GPPs, but if you feel like
I'm saying it, fade. See ya. Have a nice day.
None. Bum.
0.
Boom.
Have a nice day. Don't need any.
Like, AJ Cole's the same price as Reyes, and I like Cole so much more than I like Reyes today.
Cole on FanDuel is just a guy that's going to end up on my teams. He's 5,500. There's no chance of passing that up. That's such a misprice. He's priced down below, like, Jorge De La Rosa, Andrew Kashner, Ariel Miranda, Andrew Triggs, Clayton Richard are all priced above him. Like, stop it. That's insane.
And, DK algorithm knows all. Like, they actually priced him pretty decent today.
Good. They should. The DK algorithm does know all.
Bats in this game, I like Turner. He's a really sneaky option here.
Ben Revere. If he bats second, love me some Ben Revere. Come on, Joe. Come on, Dusty Baker. One time, just give me a nice Ben Revere in the 2 spot. I know you do it sometimes. I saw it in Arizona against a guy that couldn't hold anybody on. Do it here, please.
The fast guys. Yeah, I think we're both on the same page. We want the guys that can steal bases here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't ever hate Daniel Murphy or Bryce Harper. Never hate those 2 guys.
And they're the slowest characters in the world. They can run off Noah.
Anybody, I think I could steal base off Noah.
You probably could.
A long time ago, maybe. All right, let's move on. Miami at Cleveland. Carlos Carrasco, Andrew Kashner. I really like this spot for Carrasco. Miami just beat up DeGrom last night, if you're listening to this podcast. And I think this is a good spot for Carrasco to get back on this offense.
Yeah, I've been targeting Miami now for, I think it's been a week and a half. I've used pretty much some of the cruddiest arms I possibly can on the entire planet against them. Carlos Carrasco ran really bad in that Texas game. His defense let him down. Gave up a really bad grand slam, but that was a really quality start. The box score really doesn't indicate how well he pitched. I'm absolutely in on him in this spot against Miami. My number 1 option on the board today, and it's probably not very close.
Yeah, my number 1 as well. I think the most encouraging thing that we're seeing from Carrasco is his strikeouts are up, right? Like, that's what we wanted to see before we started jumping back on. And now 5 straight starts with at least 8 strikeouts. And we think about the Marlins offense, and now Ozuna's dealing with a wrist injury. You're worried about Yelich and Yelich.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you're worried about the team of Yelich, and Yelich. And some of these teams he faced too aren't heavy strikeout teams too, which is really the encouraging part. 8 strikeouts against the Angels is pretty darn impressive. So yeah, I can't really see a scenario in which I'm fading Carrasco today. I'm really hoping Noah's the chalk. I think it will be Carrasco, but hey, you never know.
And I really like the Cleveland bats in this spot.
Oh,
I feel like that's something I say every day, though. Like, you have your Twins, I have my Indians.
Yeah, you do love your Indians.
Andrew Kashner's just so bad against
He's
lefties.
not bad.
Andrew Kashner's bad.
He's perfectly mediocre.
Andrew Kashner's bad against lefties. We can argue it the rest of the podcast, or we can just agree to disagree.
And we can disagree all you want. If you've been stacking against Andrew Kashner in the second half, you've not been making money. I can assure you that.
Well, I'm going to stack against him today, and we'll see if I can make some money.
It'll make up for the last 2 months of efforts, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I'm not going to stack Kansas City against him. I'm not going to stack the White Sox. Like the spots.
Wait, you wouldn't stack the White Sox with all those lefties? What do you mean?
What lefties?
Adam Eaton, and Adam Eaton.
Yeah, exactly.
You're Melky Cabrera, JB Shuck. Come on, you're not interested in some JB Shuck?
Come on, CJ. Like, we're talking about Carlos Santana, Jose Ramirez, Kipnis, Lindor. These are much better lefties than Adam Eaton and Team Adam Eaton.
Yeah, no, I get it for sure. I have this bias against the Indians. I just can't ever roster them. Just
good
it's a mental block. It's a mental
good ballpark, and Cashner gives up a ton of hard contact to lefties. Like I like this spot a lot.
I just always think they're always I just always think the buzz on them is too high for my taste. But I get it. Like it's certainly Lindor, Kipnis, Santana. Like those are fine options. But you're paying through the nose of them on FanDuel. Like I'm not paying $3,800 for them on FanDuel.
That's why I like it. They're going to be less than 5% owned.
Oh, I don't know if they'll be that low.
Always low owned though. Every time.
I don't know if you're gonna get them that low owned.
All right. Well, I hope I do. Any bats here from Miami that you like?
Any bats here from Miami that I like? We mentioned him, Team Yelich.
That's it, right? Like he's hot too.
He's turning into the new Chipper Jones, and Mets fans are cringing at the sound of that. But it's getting to that kind of level at this point.
Yeah, I like Yelich. I've always been a Yelich fan. I think he's a really good baseball player. Toronto at Tampa, Alex Cobb, Marcus Stroman. Cobb, that's a name we haven't got to talk about since, I think, 2014.
This is my favorite stack of the day. I am going to have Toronto, and more Toronto. I don't care that the ballpark's bad. This guy hasn't pitched in a major league game in 2 years. Obviously he's been getting rocked in his rehab starts. This is a spot where Toronto's going to score 10, and I just hope it stays under the radar. I haven't been more confident in the spot all year. I love Toronto in this spot. There's nothing that will talk me off of them.
No, I'm not even going to try to talk you off. I'm with you on the Blue Jays here, and I think Stroman's an interesting option. We'll talk about him here in a minute. Alex Cobb, good pitcher, good name recognition. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to be nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling up his minor league stats now, and I'm sure it's going to just make me want to cringe. When the Roto World blurbs say that he got destroyed in the minor leagues, that's never really a good sign. And oh my, that's even worse than I thought it was.
He's been bad.
He's been really bad.
They're out of the playoff race. They're calling him up to get him some major league innings here to finish off the year.
Yeah, and he hasn't been going a ton super deep in games, and that Rays middle relief isn't anything to write home about. Just, this is going to be a day where I might have 150 Toronto stacks.
Yeah, Ramirez. That's who their long relief man is, Ramirez.
Erasmo Ramirez.
Erasmo Ramirez.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully I haven't just topped up the ownership through Toronto through the roof, but I love the spot today.
CJ, nobody listens to us. Come on.
That's true. If we talk Toronto, then everyone's just crosses Toronto off the list. That's really wrong.
Yeah. When we get to Boston here in a few minutes, nobody will listen to us either. The Stroman. What's your thoughts on Stroman here on a site like FanDuel where he's 7,800? It gets you a good discount from the guys up towards the top, and he should have a really solid outing here.
Don't mind it. Is a guy I like more as a contrarian option than as a trendy option. So it's kind of one of those things I'm just going to kind of see how it goes throughout the day.
Yeah, I think he's an interesting option. I think he's pretty solid here. I honestly don't care about his ownership too much. I think he's a guy that I'm going to end up on here.
Yeah, it's not like I'm saying like I would completely be off of the guy or anything like that. He's certainly not like one of my super favorite options. I think he's fine. If he's going to be under 10%, I want him. If he's 20%, I don't want it. Does that seems like fair? I think that's kind of where I'm at.
I think it's fair. 18-9 on draft. Could we play him in cash games over there?
Yeah. I like the rest of this pitching slate. You're gonna find out like there's kind of just it's not as strong as it kind of looks at first glance.
Dude, look at the prices on the Blue Jays on draft and DraftKings.
Oh, they're super cheap.
Baptista 84, Saunders 8,000, Edwin 76, Tulo 76. Josh Donaldson's priced like he is Josh Donaldson, but these guys are way too cheap.
Which three are we playing in cash?
Well, you got to play E5 in cash, and you got to play Saunders in cash, right?
Right.
And then Baptista at 84, that's underpriced for cash. I'd say Tulo's underpriced for cash. I think you could roll out a Toronto stack in cash.
Yeah, the three fantasy draft cash games list. Here you go. Pick three of these underpriced Toronto guys.
I
my
had
goodness.
E5 as one of them, but I think that I think Saunders being a second one doesn't hurt my feelings.
I mean, this is just, yeah. I mean, I don't think I ever just really spit out what I'm going to do here, but I'd be floored if I didn't have 100+ Toronto stacks in the $3 tomorrow. I'd be stunned. I can't imagine what would. I mean, Cal would have to get scratched realistically for me not to have it.
Like, how are you going to lower your ownership to the Blue Jays? Well, Cobb's not pitching. Okay, I feel a lot worse about it.
That's really what it comes down to. Like, I think Erasmo Ramirez would be an improvement over Alex Cobb in this spot.
Houston at Texas, Doug Fister, AJ Green. This game's so frustrating to me. I want to just fade this entire game.
I'm with you. I think that's exactly what you do in this game.
Like, as much as AJ Green hasn't been great, he hasn't been awful either.
No, he hasn't been as awful as you would think he's going to be. God, you know who's going to really win this slate for someone, and there's no reason why he should win a slate for somebody? Doug Fister's going to throw one of these random Doug Fister gems. And I'm normally on the Doug Fister gems because they're normally against right-handed heavy teams. God, do I have just a bad feeling he's going to win someone all the money just by rostering him at this $5,700 price tag on DK. Ugh. This is just a spot where Doug Fister's going to do just enough. Yeah, I can't. Like, I'm not saying play Doug Fister. Just this game is just. I feel like this game's going to have a bunch of ownership on it, to be honest, and I think it's a really good write-off.
There's one bat I want here. One bat only, and it's Colby Rasmus.
Oh, I forgot about his existence. That's a good point. Yeah, I think if I was going to take a Texas bat, I would take Rougned Odor, too. Second base is always kind of a little weak, and he's got power upside.
Rasmus came back from the DL the other day. I called him when Derek and I did the podcast, and I got a million tweets when he hit a home run.
Yeah, I should have listened to the podcast that day because I had no idea he was in the lineup, but I had Houston stacks that day.
Yeah, I hate to be short on a game, but that's kind of where we're at on this game, right?
I mean, yeah, like you can stack against. I mean, if you really want to stack against Doug Fister for the 99th time and have it fail for the 96th time, go ahead. One of the best things I've done in DFS this year is not stack against Doug Fister anymore, and just my life is just so much more enjoyable. Because he's one of those guys that just kind of gets on the brink and then gets his long fly ball to get out of it every time.
Yeah, and, he'll probably end up giving up a home run, but then you're trying to pinpoint the home run. I'm with you. I think Odor on Texas side makes sense because second base is pretty weak tonight.
Yeah, this is actually the highest total on the board outside of Coors, so it's going to definitely have a lot of ownership, and my interest level is pretty much none.
Isn't that crazy? Like, it's one of the highest totals, and me and you just want to write it off.
I mean, is it going to be like 100 degrees in Texas or something? Is that where we're kind of – I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, right? It's going to be just through the roof in Texas.
Rangers ballpark, 86 at first pitch.
That total feels wrong. And the funny thing is the early action's on the over, too. Boy, I don't see that one.
I think just nobody respects Doug Fister, AJ Griffin. Griffin's been so good against righties this season. Like, he's been – I say so good. Griffin's been decent against righties this year.
Yeah, I kind of think this is going to be like a 4-3, 5-3 type game. I'm perfectly happy fading this on a 14-game slate. Maybe it looks crazy, but that's kind of where I'm at.
That's what happens when you get two tournament guys on a podcast together. Chicago White Sox, Minnesota Twins. Carlos Rodon against Kyle Gibson. Any interest in either one of these pitchers?
Rodon has been the most consistent guy this year in the majors that gets absolutely no respect consistently. Like, you just look at his box scores, he just does the same old consistent little thing every time. I can't say I'm gonna be a guy that's gonna be like, oh, let's start rostering him here because I haven't rostered him till now, and this Twins matchup's a tough one. Quintana got pretty well hammered today. Even without Dozier doing something. I don't know if he did something late, but they were crushing Quintana without even Brian Dozier, who's their best hitter against lefties. But you just look at this box score for Rodon, and it's 45 FanDuel points, 44, 27, 39, 36, 25. It's just really tempting, right?
It's tempting because outside of Dozier, Grossman's banged up. This lineup is not as good as it usually is.
Yeah, Sano's pretty good too. I think I wrote up Plouffe too. Don't forget about Plouffe. Did he homer today? I hope he did. I wrote him up in all value today. It was the one guy in this 3-game slate I was confident in. I
said stack against Quintana and play the pitcher for Miami in my article today. So
you should have played the 3-game slate.
No, he did. He went. It looks like. Oh no, I don't know. The box score's not up yet.
No, he's pitching quite well. He's in line for the win.
Oh yeah, I saw the Marlins guy. Yeah. So
Homer off Quintana. You're all welcome.
Yeah, if you guys read my Roto World article and said, DeGrom's the chalk, play this guy instead.
Man.
So yeah, let's talk bats. You don't have any interest in Gibson, right?
No, I have no interest in Kyle Gibson other than as a perfectly lovely target to stack against.
Abreu hit another home run tonight.
And I was just wrong on him. Jeff and I made a good amount of fun of you for Jose Abreu, and I guess the power is back. He has just been crushing it.
Listen, I made fun of myself the first couple days that after that call in the six pack, but I think legitly his power's back. I don't know what it was. Maybe there was a hiccup in his swing, but he's hitting the ball hard again.
Yeah, for sure.
So. Outside of Abreu, Frazier always a boomer bust play. Adam Eaton in a pretty decent spot. Melky Cabrera, but outside of those four guys, White Sox.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough, but I don't mind a White Sox stack here.
What about Tim Anderson?
He got banged up today, so we'll have to see what's going on with him tomorrow. Don't mind him though if he's healthy and in the lineup.
Bats against Rodon. Dozier.
Plouffe,
Dozier. Sano.
Yeah.
3-man stack.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
I want Grossman to be back in the lineup. I love playing him against lefties. He's been so good against lefties this year.
Yeah, I hope he's back. If he's back, we can add him. I will allow us to add him into the stack.
Yes, I got one here. Detroit at Kansas City. Danny Duffy, Anibal Sanchez. Miguel Cabrera banged up. What's your thoughts on Duffy?
Yeah, this line, it looks like it's the line if Miguel is out. I can't see a world in which Danny Duffy's a -150 favorite if Miguel plays. Yeah, boy, that's a lot of respect for Danny Duffy against what's a right-handed power hitting team. I know they've been cold, but boy, oh boy, is that a lot of respect for Danny Duffy. And the price is down on DraftKings, which always is red flag number one.
Yeah, when we look into Duffy's stats this year, he's been a fly ball pitcher against righties. And not only is he a fly ball pitcher, he gives up a 36% hard contact rate to righties. I don't see that ending well against right-handed power bats in Detroit.
Detroit. I can't imagine that ends well, right? It just the game's in Kansas City, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, against Detroit in Kansas City.
Yeah, so I guess it's a good ballpark for Duffy, but he's always got elite swing and strike stuff, so you can definitely use him in tournaments. But that price on DraftKings just feels like a trap.
Yeah, if you're playing Duffy on a lineup, make sure you head stack with Detroit here.
That sounds like a great call.
Sanchez, though. No?
I love Anibal Sanchez, but he's like, if I needed an intervention, it would probably be for Anibal Sanchez. Oh, my God.
I need him to have a gem. I'm in a winner go home situation in the Roto Grinders season-long baseball league this week, and I need Sanchez to throw a gem.
So, in other words, you're going to build a Kansas City hedge stack against your season-long team.
No, I am not. I have all the faith in the world in Sanchez here. Yeah, I'm going to build a Kansas City hedge stack.
Yeah, no, I do like Anibal Sanchez. It's actually a good spot. The Royals have been striking out more than you think recently. Not a ton of left-handed bats to throw in there that scare you. So, absolutely, he's definitely in play for tournaments. And this total is on the way down already, which is always a good sign.
Let's talk bats here. Detroit, we're stacking them. We're not trying to play one-offs. If you play a one-off, I don't mind JD Martinez ever as a one-off.
Yeah, I don't mind that. James McCann against a lefty, always a viable option.
That has my heart. Kansas City bats, if Dyson's up and towards the top of the lineup, I don't hate him here.
Oh, it's really going to be hard for me to love Anibal Sanchez if they put Dyson in the top of the lineup, so I hope they don't do that.
The only good thing is James McCann has a cannon.
He does have a cannon. That is a good point. Yeah, he will be catching this game for sure, so that definitely will help.
I actually don't like Dyson as much now. You see how fast that changed when I remember that McCannon has a cannon?
Yeah, this spot for Danny Duffy feels trappy, but it might just be the right play here.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting game.
Yeah, I think this total is still even too high at 8. I think I really like both pitching here.
Yeah, 14 game slate. I just don't think I'm going to end up here on any of the bats outside of a Detroit stack.
I'm with you.
Arizona at Colorado. Arizona at Colorado. Robbie Ray, Jorge De La Rosa, 2 lefties in Colorado. Any interest in Ray against the Rockies?
I think if I was going to have an interest in a guy, it would actually be Jorge De La Rosa.
All right, well, tell me why.
No, that was more of if I was going to have interest in a guy, I would play Jorge De La Rosa.
The only thing that Robbie Ray has going for him here, he doesn't throw a curveball. He throws a slider, so he's not changing his pitch types here against the Rockies.
Yeah, Jorge De La Rosa is just not as bad as people think he is. Like, everyone just thinks he's this gas cannon. He's a perfectly wily veteran that just does his thing. Kind of put him in like CC Sabathia, where he just does his thing, and it's kind of like the left-handed version of Doug Fister. You can stack against him all you want, but it's only going to work a couple of times, and it's going to be chalky every time.
I said that a lot last year. This year, I don't know.
So why are you going to be all aboard these Arizona stacks?
I'm going to be all aboard these Arizona stacks because it's Coors Field, right?
Yeah, I guess you have the recency bias with the rain out too. I guess that could be a factor, but
and like we actually have some decent right-handed bats here that we could target too. We have Goldschmidt, we have Pollock, Yasmani Tomas, we have the Beef, and we have the man Ricky Weeks who's just mashing left-handed pitching.
Yeah, I just Jorge De La Rosa is real like 22% soft contact. Oh, that's the lefties. I'm sorry. Still 20% soft contact against right-handed bats, only 32% hard contact. At 32% fly ball rate with a 14% infield fly ball rate. Boy, I think I'm going to watch this one from the sidelines. And I'm a little biased, too, because Arizona just burned me against Matt Moore. They completely no-showed after he threw 140 pitches in the game.
Yeah, you know where I felt about that, so I went down that same path with you. Rockies bats, anything stand out to you here?
No. I think they're perfectly fine as a stack. Like, they're a little better against left-handed pitching now than they were earlier in the year. But they're still going to strike out a ton. So kind of just one of those. Hopefully they just they score a couple runs off Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray scores like 8, and you don't need Robbie Ray, and you don't need Colorado bats to win.
Yeah. Third fantasy draft play comes from the Rockies. It's Steven Dardola, I guess is how he says his name.
The kid that came from Europe and Canada. Have you looked at his backstory? It's insane.
Cardula. I don't know, but he's 6K on fantasy draft today against the lefty.
I remember I looked at this kid. I used him in his debut against Gio. And this kid played in European baseball and then went to Canadian baseball. But he's been killing it at AAA against left-handed pitching this year. Don't mind the call.
Yeah, I like when I get your support here.
It's better than having you as an enemy, right?
He's only 3K on FanDuel today, too, by the way.
Is he outfield or first base?
Outfield. No first base for him. Outfield.
All right, we can use him there.
Yes, we can. And he's infield and outfield on fantasy draft. You can use him wherever you want.
That's very good.
Oh, let's move on. Boston at Oakland. A game that I really liked tonight. David Price, Andrew Triggs. You're going to have to talk me off of all the David Price.
Not going to come from me.
This just seems like a spot. These are so tough to call, but it just seems like a Price complete game shutout.
If you hadn't said it, that's what I was going to say. I am on board. There's only one guy in this lineup that scares me. One, and one man only. He is known as the Crush in these parts.
Yeah, he's the guy that we always talk about that we're worried about. But outside of him, man, this lineup just sucks.
Oh, yeah. If you're playing, it just
Smolinski, Healy, Valencia, these guys just don't scare us anymore.
They're not any good at baseball. I will say the Chris Davis one-off price, though, is super tempting. 7,500 on draft. Oh, boy. And on FanDuel, he's 2,800. Oh, are they daring me to just go and hedge it and play some Chris Davis one-off? Oh, that price is too low. Too low.
They're daring you with everybody. Valencia is only 2,700.
Yeah, no, This guy has 35 home runs in the season, and he's 2,800.
Yeah, he only has 8 home runs against lefties this year.
Yeah, but his ISO is fine. It's just like
282, 35.7% hard contact. So yeah, it's there.
Yeah, 34 home runs, 85 RBIs, and he's priced at 2,800. Like, imagine if we had priced Mike Trout at 2,800 in the spot. What would people do?
We would have 15 foreign posts on Roto Grinders by now.
Right.
What are we doing with the Red Sox bats here against Triggs?
I don't know. I have no idea what we should do. I can see the argument for stacking. I can see the argument for fading. I can see the argument for playing a Mookie Betts one-off. I don't know.
Like, the one thing, like, Triggs hasn't been amazing, but he does have that strikeout ability. Like, we've seen it. His strikeout rates are really solid against righties and lefties. Man, I would want more of a discount, I think, going into O.co on the Red Sox bats.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at, too. I think there's too many good spots to not I think you have to use them. Like,
they're going to
like
score
1%.
runs.
They're going to be 1% owned, right? They have to be in consideration for tournaments. Like, I know it's a super low total and whatnot, but you give me the Red Sox at 1% versus kind of a mediocre righty. It's a spot you have to take, right?
Yeah, I don't think I disagree with you here.
And the fact they're overpriced just means, like, Toronto being that cheap and them being that overpriced just means, like, no one's going to end up there.
I think I stack them. I'm not going to try to play one-offs here. Yeah, I think I agree with you, though. Mookie and Ortiz, I think, are always decent one-off plays, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where I think I would head out. That's where I would lead.
Oh, is he in the player pool?
I doubt it.
He's not. Not on FanDuel.
FanDuel never has anybody. That's not the place I would look. No, it's not on draft.
Darn it.
Funny thing is, too, like we're definitely looking at the same guy, and we haven't talked about this pre-show. I could load up DraftKings, but I doubt he's in this player pool either.
No, he's not in the player pool.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We'll save his name for next time, then. Let everyone see.
We're not even going to give it out. You're going to have to tune in on the Monday's podcast on Labor Day to get his name.
I think that's a great idea. It's what we call the T's in the business.
T's in the business. LA Angels, Seattle Mariners. This game's in Safeco. It's Miranda against Oberholzer. Dude, I want Nelson Cruz to be in this lineup more than I've wanted anybody to be in a lineup all year.
Oh, man. No.
He's supposed to be back, too.
Oh, please. Oh, really? Oh.
He's supposed to be back, too.
Oh, and he'll have the nice day-to-day symbol next to his name the entire day. He does
have the nice day-to-day symbol.
He'll get in the lineup around 15 minutes before lock. He'll come in at like 3% against a bad lefty. Oh.
I don't think bad lefty is even the right term for how bad Oberholzer is.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, like, the Tigers were like 4% in the DK Live final against them, and I'm sitting there just like, what? What did I miss? How are they not 40% owned? And then he went out and threw a good enough gem. I think you just gotta play as much as you can, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping we get like the Mariners have been playing around with their lineup a lot lately, and we've been seeing guys up towards the top, like Marte. Like he'd be an excellent value if he's hitting up towards the top of the lineup here. Who was the other one that was in the top of the O'Malley, right? Yeah,
that was so against Cole Hamilton. Guys like 1 for 15 this month, and then just starts hitting these little weak grounders that get through.
Yeah, like I have a lot of interest in Marte if he's in the up towards the top. He's 2,600 on FanDuel. You got to play a shortstop. Like this is a great spot to take the value. Gutierrez, Daeho Lee. Like I love the righties here.
I don't even mind Robinson Cano or Kyle Seager, to be honest, because no one will ever think of playing them, and the righty relievers that come in are equally bad.
Yeah, and this is a West Coast game. These guys are going to be low owned.
Yeah, this is the late night hammer.
Yeah, because you can look at the other side too, man. CJ Cron has been hot. You talk about him all the time. Mike Trout against a lefty. Like Miranda hasn't been anything, spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. So for me, this is a really good late night game stack.
Yeah, because you could easily roll out like a Cron, Trout, Cruz, Gutierrez lineup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, last game of the night, San Diego at Los Angeles. Clayton Richard against Julio Herreras. What are we doing with Julio here?
I don't think I've rostered him once this season, and I'm not starting now.
But I think we do, right? Like, this is a good spot for him.
I'm not rostering him.
Come on, CJ.
The pitch count. This guy just throws 99,000 pitches all over the place. He's just like the left-handed version of Alex Reyes.
He's only walked 2 guys in his last 2 games.
6 sample size, bro.
Okay, only 3 walks 1 time in his last 7 games.
Yeah, but how many of those were relief appearances?
Probably a bunch.
Yeah, like, it's just like
I'm
he never goes more than 6 innings, ever in the history of his major league career. Has never gone more than 6 innings. So that's like the ceiling is 6 innings, 8 Ks.
Yeah, but that seems so doable against San Diego.
Maybe, but that's your ceiling. You can't be like he's not like a cheap guy. He's priced up.
I know. I wish his price was still down.
Yeah, if his price was down, it's a different story. But you're basically paying for near the ceiling. Pass.
I can't pass.
Pass.
No.
Do it, Stevie.
Not gonna pass.
Just go all in on David Price, please. You'll feel so much better about your life.
No. Can't do it.
Oh, David Price. He's hearing these. He's hearing this is bulletin board material here. It's gonna end up on that wall. He's gonna throw that complete game shutout, and you're gonna be like, "Why didn't I have 100%?"
After I called the complete game shutout too, like he's gonna slap me in the face. But yeah, I like Herreras here. I think he's very easily going to score at least 40 FanDuel points.
Yeah, for sure.
Clayton Richard on the other hand. It's a lefty against the Dodgers. We like lefties against the Dodgers.
Sure. Look, I've rostered Clayton Richard 1 time this year. I live to tell the tale. I'm keeping it right there at 1. Thank you very much.
What are we doing with the bats, though? There's nothing that really – this game, I feel like, is just an easy fade.
That's what I was saying. And then you're telling them about we need to roster Julio Urias.
Bats are a fade.
Just play. This gives it a 3-2, 4-3 game. Just pass.
Yeah. Not one guy for the Dodgers has an ISO over 200 against lefties this year.
That's bad.
Man, gosh, I think Richard. I'm not gonna do it.
Is he min price on DraftKings and Fantasy Draft?
Oh, he's 8,700 on draft.
Oh, he's not even min price anymore. I'm not paying.
That's close enough.
I got him at 4K against Miami.
He's like 4,400.
I don't hate it if you're going punt and scrub, in all seriousness, but I don't think you need to on this slate.
No, just lock in Carrasco and Price, or we like
Carrasco and Price. Those are the guys. Price, complete game shutout, baby.
And
This is like when we both wanted Brandon Moss as our number 1 hitter. We lock in David Price and Carlos Carrasco as our 1-2. We're in unison, and then we don't play enough of them, and we go back and we're just like, why wasn't he on all our teams?
Yeah, we've had a rough couple days too. Like, this is a good get right spot for us, CJ.
This is a really good get right spot, and it's paying up at pitching, which hasn't been a really good strategy in a while. So I think it's gonna be on their own. And you can just pay up and play those Toronto bats. Woohoo!
All right, let's play some home run derby. I'll let you lead off here, and I'll already start writing down his name.
Chris Davis next.
You want Chris Davis Crush, right, with a K?
No, I want the one with a C. Thank you. That's a fair question, though. I normally do want the one with a K, but today I want the one with a C.
Yeah, you usually do want the guy with the C. Man, I'm just going to go ahead and lock in the E5 home run.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think I need to get a piece of this game myself. I'm going to take Josh Donaldson.
All right. And I don't have to say it, no Coors Field. You obviously know that. I'm going Colby Rasmus.
Okay. Couple interesting picks here. I'm trying to debate between. I'm gonna. Today sounds like a free Freddie money day. Let's take Freddie Freeman.
All right, I don't hate that, and I'm gonna go to one of the worst ballparks in baseball for home runs, but I'm gonna go JD Martinez against Danny Duffy.
All right, I like that. It's a little off the board.
I think I went off the board pretty much with Rasmus and JD. You were the chalk central today.
That Rasmus play is way more chalkier than we're giving it credit for.
No, he's not. He's not chalky.
I mean, it's whatever. That's your most chalky pick. It's not very chalky day. like we wrote that game off, but I guarantee you that's like a very hot take when you just compare us to industry wide.
We'll see how the day goes, right? I have a trip to Darlington tomorrow, so like I'll be listening to the shows and podcasts and see how it works out and make my lineups.
Sounds good.
All right. At the end of the day, if you had to pick one pitcher not named David Price, Carlos Carrasco, or Noah Syndergaard to pick up a win, doesn't have to score the most fantasy points. Who do you have to win here?
All right, come on, just ban Danny Duffy while you're at it.
I wasn't going to take Duffy.
He's like 9,700 on FanDuel. You always ban the guy at like the 9,700 price.
Yeah, but I didn't want to take him, so I care less.
We're banning him for the sake of this conversation because it becomes a lot more fun.
All right, banning Danny Duffy, no Duffy either.
All right, now we're in business because now I can go off the board. There's a couple interesting guys that I really like for tournaments. Most likely to get a win, though. Boy, this is really tough. I think I'm going to go ahead and take my boy AJ Cole.
I like it. I don't hate that. I'm going to go pretty chalky with mine and say Marcus Stroman.
Oh, I thought you were going to take your boy Julio.
No, I honestly think Stroman has a better chance to win than Julio.
That Toronto lineup is just it's a dreamy, dreamy spot.
They let us down a lot when they're in dreamy spots, though.
Yeah, but this is the dreamy spot that isn't going to be like the number one option of the day dreamy spot.
Yeah, and it's a Coors Field day, and they're in Tampa. They're not in Toronto.
Yeah. This is the day that everyone goes, why didn't I play all the Toronto bets?
For sure. That's going to wrap it up here for the Friday edition of the Morning Grind podcast. A lot of stuff coming this weekend for NASCAR. There's a bunch of big tournaments on DraftKings. I have an article up on Saturday. I'm actually going to record my video when we get done here, so it wouldn't shock you, but I'll just little teaser. A Joe Gibbs guy is my checkered flag pick, and Joe Gibbs is going to win this race. I don't know who it will be yet, and an important note, if qualifying gets rained out Saturday, because there is a lot of rain in the forecast, it'd be set by owner's points, and that's going to put a lot of good drivers up towards the top.
Yeah, that would I hope qualifying is not rained out. That would be really that would make this way more interesting.
That would make the $4 tournaments so interesting, though. Like, as much as I'm going to be there, I don't want to get wet and, like, have the whole day rained out. But, like, it would make it so much more interesting.
Yeah, it absolutely would.
All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, CJ?
No, I think we've pretty much defined this slate. I think we're definitely in agreement on pitching and hitting, which means that you guys can go ahead and fade us now.
All right, that's going to do it here. Make sure you guys, if you haven't checked out already, check out the NFL podcast me and Siege did yesterday, talking general strategy. That's a good way to get your NFL stuff started. Good luck in your contest this weekend, and we'll be back on Monday. See you then.